Hey Kelly, I was hoping that you could provide a little bit of clarity. I know we talked about this in the live session and it was kind of a contentious subject, it seemed like, but I was hoping that you can provide a little clarity. First of all, I wanted to say, as far as I tried basically to get long 4 times from about 6 a.m. all the way through, I think where you took that big 40 tick win off these lows here. I hope you can see my screen as well. I'm working on this split monitor screen, so I don't know if it's going to be real small. Hopefully you can see the detail well enough. But so my main question was, and I tried to explain and spell this out in the chat. I actually was hoping I would be able to get on the mic, but it didn't work out that way. But so what it sounded like, and like I said, I never saw any of this as weak, and I agreed with you as far as what you said, and as far as context being that on the 15-minute chart that we were definitely context long coming into this demand from right here, this demand from the overnight session. So I wasn't really looking to get short into that area, and I know somebody else in the chat said, well, they saw this all as this is weakness. I mean, this wasn't really. I didn't see this as, when you look on the M1 as far as being strong demand, but the 15-minute definitely supported that there was buying in this area. So, and I think that's what you were kind of talking about. So I had a couple of losses in here, 4 tries, a couple break evens, 2 losses, and I took this one in here too and had some nice equity here. Didn't take it off. I took a +1, but had about 14 ticks of equity in there. And then finally when this broke down, so this is the issue that I saw and what I was talking about. So I saw this as value. So we had this value, and I was looking to go up through the top side and take out these highs up here. And then here comes in and we imbalance down. So now I drew this profile here, and so what I saw in this little range here that I was trying to trade long as well is this is another range and small balance. So we see this double distribution profile, which makes sense without even drawing it. I know that this is a range here, this is a range here, we imbalance down. Now what happens is once we imbalance down through here, and I understand what you were saying is that this looks like also obviously a very large buyer came in, and that's denoted by this large volume that came in. But my issue is that I'm a little bit conflicted because yes, there's buying, definitely buying stepped in to stop this move, but this is also seems to be like now trouble to me here. So as far as the longs, I'm seeing until we get back up and test and regain this value, I had a hard time buying this in this area down here. So I'm guessing, I think, you said you took 40, so you had to be somewhere in here. I don't know if you got long after this little push here and this volume that was put in, but I just had a hard time. I guess you could say up into here this is tested, but my expectations are that this will hold and that we may come back down to test this volume here. But so what am I missing? I feel like I'm definitely missing something key and fundamental, and I'm definitely not saying that my read is right. I mean, I was trying to get long for this move as well, and what happened is after we regained this value, this is when I started looking for a trade, some kind of trigger or a setup. But at that point, I have a hard time getting into anything because now we regained this and it just took off without me. And so from what I saw is that you definitely were in somewhere in this area. I'm guessing right here and maybe in this trigger when we got this push up, or maybe on this this 658 bar. But yeah, any thoughts or insight that you can give? This was definitely one that kind of had me scratching my head, being below and not regaining this value and trading directly into the bottom side of this range. I understand if you're down here, it makes sense to trade up to possibly break it, but I don't know. I had a hard time with it. Like I said, I was long context. I took 4 long attempts here, multiple. This one was the last one that I tried that I feel like maybe wasn't the best try, but taken out, I took it near at 13, 79.13, so that was near the top end of this range. So to break back up into this value. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Any thoughts you have or insight is greatly appreciated.